I think it's important to make a statement about FISA reauthorization, what it means, and the current debate that's happening regarding FISA reauthorization. This committee, and I can't take a lot of credit for this, but members of this committee have worked months and months and months to come up with reforms that I think are absolutely needed. And for the public listening, to put it simply, those reforms would have prevented the abuses of Crossfire Hurricane that occurred against President Trump. If this is passed, those abuses could not have happened, and many other abuses as well. A lot of thought has been put into how to reform FISA 702, and I'll tell you what, I don't think the FBI likes a lot of these reforms. And yet, there is disagreement here on whether or not we should pass it. There are members of both parties that want additional reforms. And I can't tell you how concerned I am about those proposals. Usually when we disagree up here, and there's a lot of disagreements, and the outcomes of those disagreements are not always that consequential. The world keeps turning. America is really hard to screw up. That's what I love about America. This one really concerns me. I come from a national security background. I have actively tracked bad guys. I've actively tracked terrorists. I know what it takes to investigate, and all of the different threads that you have to pull to conduct that investigation and eventually find the guy who wants to harm or kill or spy on Americans. It takes a lot of work, and it takes some flexibility. Now, that flexibility can't be endless, which is why we're doing additional reforms to an already very strict process. But the reforms coming out of the Judiciary Committee are downright terrifying. It effectively would dismantle FISA 702 as we know it. They'll market it as simply saying, well, look, we're just protecting people's Fourth Amendment rights. We're just saying that you have to have a warrant before search and seizure. That's how it will be represented to you. That is not true. That is not exactly what their reforms do. What their reforms do, the proper analogy would be saying that you need a warrant every time a cop wants to run a license plate. So every time a police officer sees a car go by that's speeding or driving erratically, and he wants to run that license plate, you would need a warrant. That's, of course, not how we do things. We're able to access databases with information that we already have, lawfully have. I don't know if the people proposing these reforms understand that. I do know that they've never done my job to try and find terrorists and pull on those threads of information in order to find those terrorists. I do know that they've never done that and know how difficult it actually is. I do know that they don't see what we see on the Intelligence Committee of the massive number of threats that our country is facing. They have seen the FBI director recently say that we have never seen more red alarms going off around the world when it comes to threats against the homeland. And I absolutely believe him because, of course, we see it from our own position here, but also it's intuitive. It's obvious. You have an open border where anyone can get in. You have China on the march. You have Venezuela considering an invasion. You have Iran creating chaos in the Middle East. You have Hamas committing atrocities against Israel. You have Russia invading Ukraine. Of course, there are red alarms going off everywhere. And for us to say that we should dismantle one of our primary intelligence collection tools in the midst of all this is so completely insane that I wish it were funnier, but it's not. This is the one thing, this is the one big disagreement in Congress that actually should frighten the hell out of us. And with that, I yield back.